Hello, I'm Joey Smith with Texas Chrome BBQ. I'm here watching the So Smoking Gooder show. Did I say that right?
All right. Yes, sir, Mr. Joey Smith from Texas Chrome BBQ. You did say that right. You are watching the So Smoking Gooder show and listening if you're checking it out on podcasts. In case we'll explain how to do that in just a little bit. But before, hey, shout out to those podcast listeners. If you guys are just straight listening to us, thank you very much. We are seeing the downloads. We are seeing you out there, and we do appreciate it. So thanks. Shout out to the podcast listeners. But if you're watching live, thanks. We're going to have some interaction. We're going to have another great show tonight. We've got Mr. Dennis Butterworth from Warpig BBQ. He's going to be on here in just a moment. But before we get rolling into that, let me introduce you to my show partner. What is up, Mr. Kason?
What's going on, everybody? It is a cold night and getting colder this weekend here in Texas. But glad each and every one of you are with us tonight. I was watching the countdown, and I decided I needed a beer, so I ran inside. And I don't know if you could see it on your end, but I made it back to my chair with like 1 second to go. So
nice.
If I'm a little out of breath, I was running because it was about a 30-second decision that I decided I needed to go get a beer. And so, well, here I am. So it is. We always forget it is So Smoking Gooder show, barbecue and brew. So I had to have one tonight. So
what do you got?
Excited to have you guys with us. Thanks for joining us. If you're live on Facebook, watching the comments and seeing what everybody's up to tonight. As always, we'll talk about our comment of the night. It was settled pretty quickly last week, but we'll be watching. It's a lot of fun for us. If you listen to us on podcast, thanks for joining. Wherever you find your podcast, whether it be Apple or Android, I listen to it on Spotify. We're on all the major platforms, so you can find us if you're not watching it live. If you're with us tonight live, comment away. Let's have some fun tonight and talk barbecue.
Absolutely. Case, because you weren't on screen, you kind of threw me off. I didn't even introduce myself, I don't think. This is Rob Arocha coming to you from the Bullhorn headquarters in Cypress, Texas. I actually like saying that. So, guys, thank you. Welcome in. Another episode. This is, I think, six in a row, Case. That's pretty good for us. Call us Butter because we're on a roll. Did you see what I did there? We got Butter coming up here in a minute.
Completely terrible.
That was terrible. But hey, that's what this show's all about. Terrible little puns and yes. Barbecue and brews. So you mentioned brews. What are you drinking tonight, Bubba?
Healthy beer. I don't want to talk about
it. I already know. I think I know. But shout out to what I'm drinking here. Yeah. It's the 64, right?
It's something. I should have went and got some water.
Shout out to Eureka Heights Brewing Company for the mostly harmless. It is mostly harmless, but if you drink a few of them, it does catch up to you. But before we get rolling, you mentioned Diamond Shine again. We are going to have the Diamond Shine brightest comment of the night. I have some another giveaway. We're going to do that in the show later. Little Crawford's Rodeo Wing Sauce. We'll figure out how we give this away. We're definitely going to do that. So while we are talking about our sponsors, guess what it's time for, Case?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Shout out to our great sponsors: Rec Tech Grills, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Rick's RV Rental and Repair, Holy Smoke Spice Company, Diamond Shine Cleaning Products, J. Harding and Company, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, and The Barbecue Store. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
Absolutely. Shout out to our sponsors. That's awesome. What's that, Case?
Yeah, it's like 4 weeks now, and someone has not helped us out in getting Rick a logo. So Rick's RV Repair. Fantastic, guys. If you need to rent an RV for a cook-off, you need to get some. But man, we've got to get that guy a logo. Someone out there's got to have some skill set when it comes to making a logo. Help Rick out. Rick needs a logo on the show. So
CJ Butter is making.
Yeah.
CJ Bean making a quick run for the Diamond Shine comment of the night. There he is. Compete Barbecue. Thank you for tuning in. And Kevin Caldwell. All right. So shout out to everybody tuning in. But we are going to have Dennis Butterworth here in just a minute. Little do people know, Dennis was the actual third guest ever on the So Smoking Gooder Show way back in the day in 2017. When we started this thing, we were actually doing live shows. Now, this is a live show, but we actually did a live studio audience type show that was held at the Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics Studios, is what we called it back in the day. And Butter came on.
Monkey.
There was a monkey. There was actually people that watched. It was pretty awesome. And I'm going to post that video because it's on the old Bullhorn barbecue page. Well, it's still a thing, but we were actually going there. And that's where we're doing the show from. But Butter was.
I blame COVID for out. So that's why we don't have live audiences.
Yeah, we definitely need to go back and do some live remote shows. But COVID kind of put a little damper on those. But we'll get back to doing some of that. But who was the first? That was do you remember the first ever guest of the social?
Whitlow.
He is now retired.
Retired IBCA. Potential Hall of Famer Wade Whitlow. Also, Team Dairy Cone, I guess former member. He technically has never missed one, but we didn't have the June cook-off this year. And so Wade Whitlow, potential IBCA Hall of Famer Wade Whitlow. So if you're friends with Wade, tag him. Tell him we're talking about him tonight. And, I'll never forget, we did a show. I think Phil Breeden just walked into the door one night.
He did.
And,
Phil Breeden.
And I think he kicked me off the set.
This is before Phil Breeden. This was before Phil Breeden wore green shades. He had a beard, but it was nothing. It was about this size back then. He just came in and appeared, and we had a show with Phil. That was pretty cool. Those are some good times, and we'll get back to doing some live remotes, I think, because those were fun. Those were fun things, man. We did them from the Pitmaker bar as well. Just good stuff. Good stuff.
So those of you that are in the comments tonight, they're flying. Of course, Danny won last week with his comment. I don't know if we'll go back. You can go on the page and see what Danny said last week, which was hilarious. And so I'm watching the comments. I have another setup right here watching the comments. I can tell you the current leader in the house is was it Kevin Caldwell? Yes. Will Diamond Shine work on Butter's dome? And so yes, Diamond Shine absolutely polishes any non-painted smooth surface, and there's no doubt in my mind it would work really well on that non-painted smooth surface that is hit. So,
all right, last order of business before we get Butter in the house. I'm wearing the Burnt Bean Company shirt. Got to give a shout out to Ernest Cervantes. The man is killing it right now in Seguin, Texas. So I know you guys have seen a lot of some cool barbecue posts and pictures that look amazing, and you're probably mouth watering. And let me tell you, it is the truth. It is all that and more. Go check him out in Seguin, Texas. Shout out to Ernest. Went over there. I've been there twice now. I'm trying to get a corner. I'm trying to get a table named after me, but Joey's got me beat. I think Joey's there every weekend. So Joey Machado. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get the man of the hour on. Here he is, Mr. Dennis Butterworth. Again, guest number 3 ever on the So Smoking Gooder Show. He's going to be, now it's episode 64. So, wow. That's enough. That's enough of that. Here we go. Dennis Butterworth, what is up, buddy? How are you?
What's up, fellas?
How are things, man?
Man, doing great. How are just staying warm here. Hopefully you guys are as well. Got out a little bit today. Had to deliver some product down to Conroe, but man, it's pretty nasty out there.
Yeah,
it is. Been raining. We're in Houston, southeast Texas. Raining, cold. Predicting like single digits on Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be crazy. Where are you holed up right now?
Just in the Warpig lair here at the office. You can see all the product in the back. Obviously, the big check in the back. I mean, this is where we do all the work. Putting out all the products and keeping the books.
Yes, absolutely. So do you remember that visit to Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics for the third ever? That was back in 2017, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed, you guys never invited me back since I took over the show. And people were chanting, just bring Butter on from now on and let him run the show. But, it's all good, man. I'll get my own podcast one day and I'll return the favor. So it's nice.
Who makes the talent decisions on this show, right? It has nothing to do with me.
Or lack thereof. Yeah.
Oh, we've had talented guests on this show quite a bit. We've got some. I'll announce it later. We got some nice stuff in the pipeline too. But right now we're visiting with Dennis Butterworth. He is the owner and operator of Warpig Barbecue. He has seasonings and sauces. You can find them in your local HEB. You can also find them at warpigbbq.com. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
That's right.
Absolutely. BBQ. So give us an update. So back then, 3-4 years ago, you were just announced as the HEB Quest for Texas Best winner.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah, we just won first place in Quest. I knew it was a life-changing moment. Didn't really know how much. So there was a lot of work involved after that. After the show, man, it really got busy. Life changed quite a bit. Learned a lot real fast about retail 101, still learning every day. So, but fast forward, I don't know how many years later we are now. I mean, that's probably 3 years later. So sold quite a bit of bottles since then. So it's been quite nice, still trying to turn a profit in the company, but I'm pretty happy with the success so far. I mean, never in a million years would I have dreamed this is what I'd be doing in my life right now. So really cool to see it come to fruition and to know that I'm not a one-hit wonder with just FUBAR, to see the other sauces do great, see the rub do great. And then to launch something on the circuit like 50 cal that nobody's ever seen before and see it just dominate. I see people's brisket pictures all the time and they're giving all their sponsor shout outs and stuff. And I just smile because it's, unmistakably my sauce on top of their brisket, which is great. So it's really cool to see. So
one of the things before just so we don't let it kind of slip away, and some of us, we just assume because a lot of people watching do know you, but there's a good chance there's a lot of people that don't know you. Anytime I have a conversation with somebody and they ask, Case, what would you buy? That kind of stuff. And anytime that your products come up in conversation, obviously, can you speak to the veteran-owned, but the donation, and where do we stand this far down the road when it comes to? It's probably the coolest thing. You've done some amazing things with the product, but I know it's something that you're proud of. But before we get too far, for people that may not know about you being a veteran-owned company, and then ultimately how you give back.
Yeah. So first, if you've ever seen my barbecue pit, you know that I like Army tanks. I was a tank driver in the United States Army. So we created the sauce and we decided, now was our chance to give back to the veteran community. And I really fell in love with Folds of Honor. That was my first charity I signed on with. We were given 50 cents a bottle. Every bottle sold a FUBAR. And that first year we got an HEB, we were able to donate like $35,000 to them, which was amazing. So now that we've teamed up with two other charities, the PTSD Foundation of America and the Lone Survivor Foundation, with all of my products. If you've seen the new labels, I've changed it to we give an equal donation. We take the profits and we split it 3 ways, and we donate equal amounts to all 3 charities, which is a more fair approach because, not everybody buys more of one product than the other. So really love it. And man, I think, we're well over $100,000 donated since we've been inception. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a proud moment, and then during COVID, we were able to, I made the decision to pull some money back, one of my quarterly donations, and send some money over to one of the local charities in Houston that was helping John Mercer and his crew. I think Jason Danger. Yes, is it? Yeah. They were helping feed first responders and I believe the nurses in Houston. So I sent the money their way, and the charities were all on board with it. They fully supported it. So, I always ask them before I do something like that because I don't want them to think that I'm just pulling money away from them to give to somebody else. But I mean, everybody is so understanding. So
you're getting a lot of love in the comments. Yeah. A lot of people are thanking you for your service. And this guy, Kevin, said his first pit I ever saw competing that stood out the most. Got a lot of one guy asking, did you take any barbecue filter classes from Wild Bill? I think you were the originator. I think you were the originator of that, though. By the way,
it's about time somebody recognizes that, Rob. I've been in this game longer than most of these fools. I love Wild Bill Perv, but I've been taking these pictures forever. I have a photo booth inside my trailer. I don't use filters. Don't have to use filters. I have proper lighting. So
one of the things that Rob and I talked about in the show was God, I hope we get an unfiltered Dennis, even if we end up Dennis wanting to smack me in the face a few times. So the goal tonight was to get an unfiltered, because few people have existed this long as my friend and have argued more things between barbecue, the SEC, whatever, football, A&M. We are in a group. I do have to ask you what it's like to be. There's a Facebook group that was created. You know, you went to Sam Houston if ...
Yeah.
So him and I are both in that group, and I don't know if I want to relive any more history of Sam Houston State or Huntsville, but it's been intriguing. But we were hoping to get unfiltered Dennis tonight on every topic. So can you promise we're going to get unfiltered?
Yeah,
Dennis?
I mean, one thing that's good about me now, thanks to some success in the business, is I don't have to worry about pissing off my sponsors because I don't have any. So, yeah, I mean, little known fact, I did graduate from Sam Houston State, so I eat them up Bearcats.
Eat them up cats. There's no bear in there. Just throw that there.
Yeah, see, I don't even know. I drove from College Station every day to go to school. I was at A&M for 3 years and spent all of my Army college fund there before they decided I was too good of a student. I needed to go somewhere else. So, yeah. Bearcats. Yeah.
Yeah. Eat them up.
Oh, yeah, you can get unfiltered butter, man. That's the best kind of butter, a little bit salty.
A little salty.
Yeah.
So, Butter, you mentioned that life changed right after the HEB deal, and you kind of touched on it a little bit. But what's the biggest thing that has changed since, in the last three and a half years?
Besides paying more in taxes, it's it's really the recognition. I mean, we drove to Kansas. We go to Kansas City. We go to Alabama. We like to do all the cook-offs we can that are far away. And, we get to meet people that use our products and that I know on Facebook, but I wouldn't recognize them in person unless they come up to me just because I don't have a relationship with them. But, we get people all the time that come up and just say, hey, man, love your products, follow you on Instagram, love your pictures and your videos on TikTok. DW Butter on TikTok, DW_Butter.
Don't jump ahead, bro. We're getting there. We're getting there.
TikTok
really,
is an hour two. So, we got a long way to go before we get to TikTok.
Yeah. So really, that's it, man. It's really more about recognition. It's really nice, and that warm fuzzy feeling you get, when you donate the money to the veterans, and you get to go and hear their stories. At our Houston Rodeo tent every year, we host a luncheon, and we'll invite one of the charities to come and speak, and they always bring people that's been a benefit of their charity, their beneficiary. Man, it's just heartwarming. So that means a lot. When Folds of Honor sends me a letter every year, it says your donations accounted for this many scholarships to children of wounded or deceased combat veterans. Man,
I've been in y'all's tent when you were when you did the presentations last year, or maybe I don't know if I was there last year, but I've been there before while y'all were doing that. That's a big deal. What you guys donate a lot of money and your time and effort and all that. It's not unnoticed. These guys are very appreciative, and thank you for doing that. That's awesome. And everything that what Warpig barbecue from the sauces and seasonings does, that's pretty amazing stuff. You've touched on traveling all over the country. That's going to get kind of leading me into the next thing. You've ventured out, from Texas, right? And so you've been around the country. And what's the main differences that you might have seen cooking a lot down here and kind of starting to spread your wings a little bit and go into a different kind of arena?
It's we love KCBS on our team, whether I'm cooking with the whole team or just Brian, or if Josh comes on as a guest cook. So when we go out and travel and do these KCBS cook-offs, it's the flavor profiles, they're definitely a lot saucier in the other states. And, I'm the boss of the sauce. So I love it when people say, you put sauce on it. So, so I did play golf 2 days ago though. So there you go.
So what's the main difference? Just
really, I mean, it's everything's a tenderness battle in barbecue. So with the KCBS, a lot of people think, oh, you got to take it off an hour before you would IBCA, but it's just slightly less tender than what you would IBCA. IBCA, you're overcooking everything. And when we do these KCBS, I mean, you still want it to be tender. Nobody wants a wad of beef in their mouth, at least a barbecue judge doesn't. But maybe Tony Tanowski, but not me. So anyways, that's really it, and then the garnish and everything. But what's cool about it is, man, it's a nice, brother and sisterhood in the KCBS, man, everybody gets around each other. We all talk to each other. They'll do these, shots at 7 a.m., and before we get going, I always play the national anthem at 7 a.m. So
yes, that's cool.
It's a tight knit community for such a large organization. And, and because once the alarm clock hits, man, and you got the meat on, I mean, it's balls to the wall. So there's no time for fooling around like we get in IBCA where we're sitting on the back porch and everybody's drinking and smoking, having a good time. But no, it's business time.
So I saw it this morning when I was driving in to work and might have been surfing around on Facebook. Did everything settled over the whole belt buckle debate that happened on Facebook this morning? Because I noticed someone was asking about a second belt buckle from the Humble Rodeo. And I loved your comment. Are you guys still talking after you reminded them who the head cook was? Just wondering.
I missed this. Back up and what's going on?
Oh, so here's the deal with my team and anybody that cooks with me. If we win a belt buckle, Butter takes the belt buckle home. Butter paid for that belt buckle, right?
Right. You put the entry fee in, right?
Smokey on Friday said, "You didn't put in on this, man." So, anyways, that's the short story of it.
Somebody salty, apparently.
So, man, I don't give up the buckles, man. I mean, I like to wear them, bro. So apparently you can order. You can order.
Team member didn't want to give up the buckle. He just wished there was a second buckle.
Yeah, well, they I gave him the big ass trophy, which was about 5 foot tall, and now it's in a restaurant in Deer Park. So,
hey, so can you go over your teammates? Can you do a rundown of your main teammates that you cook with?
You have to define teammates, really. Oh. No, I love my crew, man. We've been around forever. So we go Warpig OG, right? That's me, Casey McCall, Jeremy Phillips. We all grew up together from knee-high to grasshopper. Me and Jeremy left high school, went to the Army. He was smarter than I was, so he went to West Point. I went to Fort Knox. Jeremy Heffernan, who we call Hef, he was OG also. That's right, Vince, another belt buckle issue. I'll explain that one in a minute too. But anyways, so Hef is an OG. And then we were long shots back then. And Brian Bridgman was on a team with Jared Dagley called Bone In, and they were struggling, didn't know what the hell they were doing. Brian loved
the name.
I took Brian with me to put my hands down. I took Brian with me to Chili in Austin for the first time we ever cooked, and he was like, "Man, I really just want to cook with you from now on." I was like, "Cool." So I hit the boys up and I said, "Hey, we're gonna add Jared and Brian to the team," and I always hated the name Long Shots. So I said, and now we're called Warpig Barbecue. So everybody loved it, and that's the story of Warpig. So a few years later, we added Aaron Eddy to the team. So he's a great mixologist. So anytime we have mixed drink contests like we did in Kansas, where we took third, tied for second with the Jack Daniel's cocktail contest, I bring Aaron along. Really great for that. And then we'll have guest helpers. Josh will cook a lot with us if he's not doing his own team. Or I'll go cook with him if we're doing KCBS, and I don't want to bring my pit out there. He'll set up a team with Pop, and we'll go out there and cook together. So, nice. And then every once in a while, we'll just add more people. If somebody else wants to come hang out. So, but here lately, it's either me and Hef or me and Brian, or me and Brian and Hef doing a lot of them. And then the other guys come out and help. Man, whenever everybody's got kids, I mean, I'm the unicorn. 43 and no kids, so I'm out there traveling the world, and they show up when they can, and I don't knock them for it. So,
all right, nice. Case, you got anything? Who's the new leader?
Caleb Warden is the new leader when it comes to comment of the night. Sorry,
that one right there. All right,
just because it has a NASCAR reference and it is Daytona 500 weekend. So,
hey, Caleb, since you're watching, I want my big ass trophy back.
Oh, this is when people tune in for the drama. Not gonna lie. So
I'm coming to get it, and I'm going to review your restaurant and then steal the trophy.
So can we talk about Rob? Can we go to the TikTok?
I mean, yeah, we can go to the TikTok. I wasn't ready for it yet, but go ahead.
Screw your agenda. We're going straight on.
All right, what's your question?
You know us good enough. There's no such thing as an agenda when it comes to this show. So tell me how does Dennis stumble upon TikTok? And you put some effort into these and some editing. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, you know my degree's in radio and television, right? And I never really did anything with it other than teach it in high school for 4 years, which a lot of people don't know. But we have a monster group text with our team, and it's the dumbest group of messages you've ever seen, and it's nonstop. And during COVID, man, Bridgman started and Aaron started sending these TikTok videos, that everybody was liking, and I was like, man, what the hell is this app, So I wasn't ever going to get it, and then I was on the royal throne needing some viewing pleasure, so I decided to download this app, and that became my pastime, was watching TikToks, when I was passing the time. And some guy decided to post a video of the best barbecue joints in Houston. So I decided, man, these restaurants suck that you listed, so I'm gonna list mine. And so I just sat here in my office, did a quick video, put it together. Nothing fancy, but I listed my top 5 joints in Houston. And I think I got like 150,000 views like quickly, and a lot of controversy in the comments. I mean, it was great. So that spawned my thing, and moved on to the cook-offs where me and Bridgman were at, or the whole team was in Livingston. We set up the iPhone and just started taking time-lapse videos of our stuff, right? And Brian has his own account too, and he took a time-lapse of his chicken. I did one with prepping my ribs or wrapping my ribs, and I got 150,000 views, and Brian was getting 160,000 views, and we're going back and forth. So it just became the thing, man. Like I have a YouTube channel with 0 videos on it because TikTok took over. So it's 1 minute videos. They're really quick, and I can spit them out pretty quickly. So
so reviewing barbecue. And you've had some pretty good ones. You've also had some, but I watched one recently. We'll get in it. You don't have to name names, but it's Texas Monthly.
He already named it. He named it on TikTok. We can name it here. No one watches this show.
Yeah, they just before, not even having to hear your feedback. That was some pretty rough barbecue. And I think you spent like $70, by the way. So I felt bad for you. And we've been there, and I think a lot of people in the crowd have been there where we've been to, not every day is a good day in barbecue at a restaurant, but that was a really bad day. Did you feel bad by pushing through on that review, or if you haven't seen on TikTok, find it. And I actually felt bad for you.
So there's 2 ways to go about it, right? Like I go in, I take my phone and my little gimbal, and I film a lot of stuff. Nobody knows who I am, really. And I take a friend of mine, Doug. We'll go in together. We're both big guys, so I know we'll put down some food. And I walked in. I told the ladies, "Hey, I make these stupid videos for TikTok. I'm just going to film the barbecue," and they were all excited.
I'm about to wreck your world on TikTok.
I dropped $72.
So they knew you were going to. They knew you were going to video this.
Yeah, they knew it. I was filming them, and I always spend $70, $80 at these places so I can get a nice assortment of food. And this one's not, there's other ones that were bad too. This one I got so excited to go in there because of all the hype. And, and I love Allison Cook from the Houston Chronicle, man. I follow her a lot, and she named it as one of her top bites of 2020. So I called Doug and go, dude, we got to go try this place out. It's out in the middle of nowhere. The guy gets a lot of press, so let's go see it, man. I said I want to eat a good one because I had a couple bad ones prior to that, and you do. So once you eat it, and I'm editing it, and I do feel bad. Like that's what I was getting at. Was there's 2 ways to think about it. It's like, man, I don't really want to post this review and cost this man money, right? Like we're not in times where restaurants can handle bad reviews, and I feel really bad, if that happens, but customers are also in bad times too, and so where they choose to spend their money should really mean a lot to these restaurant owners. And that shit can dry up really fast, and it just it's so all, like I said in my video, all I can do is judge you on the meat that you present to me. right? Like, I'm not judging you on your appearance of your restaurant. I don't care if it's a dive. I'd enjoy a good dive, but if the food is bad, it speaks for itself. I show the brisket, if it's tender, it looks tender, it's going to be good. But man, it's just, this one was bad. I got there at 11:15. They opened at 11. It was cold and tough. And so you can draw your own conclusions on that. But the owner was there. He didn't come out at all. So it was fine. I wasn't going to, I don't complain. I don't ask for my money back. I don't care. But
all right. So
the reviews must happen.
So we're going to touch on TikTok for just a minute, and then I'm going to ask you back to some barbecue. But so how can they find you on TikTok real quick? But DW Butter, right?
DW &Butter. I created it without ever thinking I'd make a barbecue video. It was just going to be me and Wally. We were going to make dog videos, and stupid videos like that. And the next thing I know, my damn barbecue videos took off. So
tell me about the pit masters on the porch, or what do you call it?
No, the barbecue tips from the patio. Yeah. during COVID, I was sitting out on the patio, and I, because I got so bored inside the house, and I'd smoke cigar and drink my iced tea, and was like, shit, man, let me make a quick video. So I started thinking of things that drive me nuts on Facebook and some of these barbecue groups that I see, this bad advice that people give, and you can't speak out against them in the thread because, they know everything, and their granddaddy cooked barbecue, back with, a stick and some damn fire. So I just started going off on some of this stuff, and it works. And I've only made like 6. I think the last one I said was episode 400. But
so give me the top 3.
So the last one was the best one. So one of the ones that's always on my mind is because when I travel these cook-offs, when we first got started, we would get beat by these female pit masters, right? And this is in 2009, right? Nobody knew anybody. Facebook wasn't around. But Jan Canterbury was stomping her ass in the ground, and so was Royce Raspberry and all the other lady pit masters. I hate that. And then of course Robin comes on the scene a couple years later and starts killing us too. So, and I remember we were young and dumb and drank a lot. We're like, man, how are these women beating us? This barbecue, man sport, blah, 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 blah. And then you sit back and think, for your whole childhood, the best chef you ever knew was your mama. So why the hell can't she cook barbecue? So I see it today with people questioning women, and I'm like, man, so that's my favorite one. It's like the worst mistake you can make in barbecue is to think that woman pitmaster can't beat your ass, because she's gonna do it. And they take so much pride in beating us, and it's great. I'm glad they do. I grew up with 2 sisters and a mama, so I know all about women wanting to beat me. So it's
well, we actually had a show dedicated to women pitmasters. We had Michelle Castillo from AMP Products, and we had Carissa Smith from Shut Up and Smoke, First Class Barbecue. The ladies out there are killing it. So that was awesome that you gave a little nod to the ladies out there that are killing it, and we've done the same thing on this show. So let's get back to some barbecue questions. What's your favorite thing to cook out there, man, and why?
So it's always ribs, man. Everybody, I think if you ask Phil Breeden, he always asks me, what was your favorite turn-in? I'm always like ribs, and he's like, man, it's what you always say. It's because it's the only thing I eat, when I'm out there. I love ribs. I love pork ribs. Spare ribs, St. Louis cut, however you want to cook them. I love them sweet and I love them saucy. So that's it, man. So
you do, now we were talking about Bill Purvis and the filter game, but sincerely, you make the prettiest ribs out there in the game. Honestly, they're always square. They're always nice and wide, and they've got some pepper look to them. So is that obviously that's the ones you take the most pride in. Your first sauce was dedicated to pork. Was that anything behind that? Do you just take extra? I guess your teammates are doing the other, or at least one of the other categories, right? Yeah, usually, and I help, handle all the sauce for everything. But we've developed a good method for putting sauce on ribs and creating that shine, and it works and it looks good. And over the years, they just keep getting prettier and prettier. So, I know it. Yeah. They might not be the best ribs, but I can bet you they're the prettiest ribs in the world. So is this technique proprietary? What, are you going to share it?
I shared it with a guy last week at the cook-off. He actually, because nobody ever asked me shit, and it bothers me, right? So
we're asking right now. We want
he was like, Butter, can you show me how to glaze? And so I tracked him down right before I was getting ready to glaze my ribs. I go, dude, you want to see it? It's right here. Let's go. He walked in the trailer. I showed him. He's like, that's it. I said, it's not rocket science, bro. It's putting sauce on meat. So it's I don't use the tell-all.
Yeah, wait, Casey's saying it.
Leave the brush out of your hand, right? That's from Michelangelo. So I don't use a brush. My sauces are always thin, right? I mean, it's how I created them for this reason. I want to pour them over the meat and let it just slowly, like a mirror glaze on a cake, right? Just slowly cover it. But sometimes you got to pick up your rack and let the sauce slide across it a little bit. So, but I may make a TikTok for you guys for it. I'm not going to share it all today. The only thing I brush on is the brisket sauce, because you're not going to see brush strokes because you're cutting it against the strokes. So, and by the time the sauce cuts on, you won't see it.
And you mentioned 50 cal. Let's talk about that. What is 50 cal?
50 cal is the only savory black peppercorn sauce on the market, and black sauce on the market. You know, black sauce matters, and it's a great sauce. It's bark in a bottle. If I have to explain it to a barbecue guy, it's bark in a bottle. You put it on your brisket 30 minutes before you want to cut it. Put it on the pit for 30 minutes. Let that sauce get crusty. You've got a brand new flavor profile and a beautiful black shiny bark when you cut it. If you don't give it 30 minutes, at least 250 degrees, it's liable to slide off the slice. Still going to taste great, but it won't have that pretty, glaze. So that's it. I use it on. I walked with it the first time I ever used it in an SCA contest. So, Case, I know you do a lot of SCA. I'm one of the few guys that actually sous vide the steaks on the circuit. I've been doing it since they started SCA. So when I pull it out of the sous vide, I was with Rick Dixon, and I said, watch this. I had my grill grates smoking hot. I pulled the bag out, cut the steak out, dried it off a bit, just covered it in 50 cal. That was it. Threw it on the grill grates and seared it. Took like 5th place, I think. So,
which is not dead as last. I just want to point that out.
No, it's great for steak, great for prime rib, great for burgers. It's not sweet. So all of my sauces are very sweet, and this one was totally different. So I love it on burgers. I mean, mix it with mayonnaise. You've got a great dip. It's a really great sauce.
So it's very savory. And when I first got it, and I was a little skeptical because I guess in my mind, when you buy it, you anticipate barbecue sauce. And I think we all have an idea what barbecue sauce, in the general area. And I was like, man, I just don't know. And then I used it. And to your point, I mean, the brisket turned out fantastic, but there's something about not only to the shine, the sheen, and the finish of the brisket, but, it's something that cooks down and it just pairs really, really well with brisket. How long did it take you to even attempt to develop? How did that end up something on your, was that, 1 second.
Case went sideways on us. He always gets sideways. I knew one of y'all were going to get sideways.
Were you just sitting around one day and said, you know what, there's a market for this, and how long did it take you to develop? Because I know you're an extremely detail-oriented person, so what was your timeline on it?
Well, yeah, so I knew I wanted to make a savory sauce after all the 3 sweet ones came out, and I knew I needed something for brisket. And I used to mix foobar with something that was a little savorier for my brisket, but it still wasn't what I wanted. So, man, I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting at Friends for Wishes cook-off in Hempstead, way out in the back 40 by myself, and I started thinking, what else do I have to do? Brisket turn-in was at 4, 2-hour intervals or whatever. So I said, let me try to make this sauce I've been thinking about. So I looked in my cabinets, and I had enough ingredients to create something. And so next thing I know, I put it on the brisket, and I brought it over to Stephen Pfeiffer's group that was cooking next to me. I said, hey, y'all want to try this? I just made it. It's something new. And these old guys were like, hell yeah, we'll try it. We never win anything. So I walked first brisket, and I think they took 10th, which was their first time ever walking. So
nice.
Kind of knew I was on to something. Took it to League City Music Fest the next weekend, which was 102 teams. Took first brisket there with it. Went down to New Caney to that big music fest they had. Took first brisket with it there. And it was just killing it. First and second brisket. And I was giving it to Caleb and a few other guys. They were hitting first briskets everywhere they were going with it. So definitely knew I was onto something. So it really only took, once I got home, I started making it, on the stove like I normally did. I got the ingredients ordered. And it only took a few tries to get to the flavor profile I wanted because, I went from using light brown sugar and what I use in all my sauces to dark brown to give it a darker, deeper flavor. Very little dark brown sugar. I cut the white sugar out. A lot of Worcestershire sauce and, some vinegar. And a lot of coarse grain black pepper.
All right. So we've talked about the 50 cal. One of my favorites is Snafu, your chicken sauce. How'd that come about? Number one, and I know a lot of people are using it. I use it on brisket. I think I'm the only one. You and I have talked. I think I'm the only one doing that on there, and it used to hit in a little while, but used to be a dang pretty much automatic. But talk about the Snafu and what's in that and how that came about, because Fubar is where you started. Fubar was when Case and I remember you would bring over some, mason jars on it, and
in the middle of the night.
And let's talk about who your first protein was.
It was like
FYI.
He was like a sauce fairy back in the day.
That's right. Spaghetti sauce jars and pickle jars and everything else. I was giving it to Rob and you guys and Joe and Kristen Severson. I was sneaking
First
in
protein.
Them and so you guys helped a lot with it. But Snafu was merely born out of me not wanting to be known as a one-hit wonder. I was like, I have another great sauce in me, so I just totally went to the whiteboard, started coming up with ideas. I knew I wanted flavors that went with chicken. Orange, pineapple, chipotle. Those are my flavor profiles for Snafu. And I knew I wanted it a bright, vibrant red color because I think that looks the best on chicken, especially competition chicken, right? So that took a while to develop. I had to find the right ingredients to give me the red I wanted. A lot of guys out there would just put red food coloring in it or grenadine or something. But no, I wanted natural ingredients that could give me the color I wanted. And then it was getting the ratio of orange and pineapple, to everything else. And it took a while, but once I launched it, man, it won a world championship last year at the World Hot Sauce Awards. So yeah, anyways, it won a bunch of awards. It keeps winning, and it's done me really well. So it's my favorite sauce. Fubar is my baby, but I love Snafu. So and I use Snafu on chicken and ribs, Snafu and Fubar on those. So
when Fubar, I remember, and when you hit the HEB thing, coming from from a business model, yours is a little different. HEB is a big customer. You're not, and I know you're in a lot of the barbecue shops and the barbecue store and those places. But it's very tough to compete. People don't realize the shelf space in an HEB is to get there and to stay there. And man, you hustled. You and your wife were out. I looked, I was like, man, are you at my HEB down the street? And so for a while there, you were really out there hustling, grinding as a small business owner. How do you continue to not get complacent but stay relevant and keep developing? And is there potentially more Warpig products on the way?
Yeah, so you're right. We hustled a lot. We did a lot of demos that first year. It was because you want to get out and sell people on your product. You got to tell the story. Only you know your story best. And you got to convert people from a $2 bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. That's what everybody grew up on, And I love, Dave Raymond for what he's done for the industry. He created kind of the model we all hope for. Create a brand, get a lot of customer loyalty, and sell that bad boy for multiple millions of dollars. That's awesome. So, so my job in the grocery store was to do a demo, see somebody with a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's, and talk them out of it. Hey, I know mine's $5. That's $2. Let me tell you why. So we hustled, man. The hustle game was strong the first 2 years. COVID hit. All the demos got canceled. So it was really hard. And then HEB quit doing, during COVID, they quit doing ship to home because they focused on doing that curbside pickup that everybody was doing. Mm-hmm. And they only picked certain products to go on that curbside pickup. So not all of our products were available for the longest time. None of our products were available, which hurt us quite a bit. So it is a hustle. I've seen people get bumped off. I've seen people last, less than 1 year on the condiment shelf. So what a lot of people don't know is, each shelf facing that you have, so Fubar has 3 facings. You should see 3 on every shelf, and then you've got 2 Snafu, 2 Flamethrower. I mean, those can cost upwards of $25,000 each, for a facing. So it's expensive, and anytime, as we try to grow into nationwide stores, we have to be prepared to pay that price and to hustle to keep on the shelf and stay relevant. It's the hardest things to stay relevant in this industry, so that's why I do a lot of marketing. I do what I can, and I definitely could be better. I'm always trying to learn, digital marketing, because it's always growing, and I know that's the way to do it. But it's difficult, man. I've seen had a lot of friends in the industry that through HEB that aren't on the shelf anymore. So, and I've seen mine drop from eye level down to the next one, it's like, God dang, bring me back up. We were the number one.
Glass jars. They don't want that drop factor of the glass jars. They're just trying to keep your product safe. I think that's the idea. They keep it, if it tips off the shelf, it doesn't have to fall as far.
Oh no, they charge us if they drop a bottle, so it's okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we get charged for that. So.
We talked about the sauce, and we know it. But tell us about the easiest pouring rub on the earth when it comes to getting every bit of the rub out of the shaker. Ham grenade. I feel like sometimes it gets lost in the popularity of the fantastic sauces, but. Are you going to tell me the secret tonight, finally, on what makes ham grenade actually pour out so easily all the way to the bottom? You get your full money's worth on that baby, because it is the most easy pouring rub that I've worked with.
When I created it, it was the same with my sauce. It had to pour smoothly. I can't stand a clumpy ass sauce. I throw it out. I just cleaned my trailer yesterday and threw a whole bunch of people's products out, barbecue rubs, because they're all clumped up, and it's frustrating. I know people don't want to add certain ingredients and they want to keep it true, but there's ways to go about it. It's brown sugar has moisture in it, right? So it's going to clump. So you have to find ways. There's agents called free flow, which are natural ingredients that you can add to it that help. It's almost like a silica dioxide or whatever. So it helps. With the anti-caking. But you want to find the all natural ones, obviously. And that's what we've done with our co-packers. So I stress to my co-packers color, consistency, and flavor on all my products. And I've noticed ham grenades start slipping here recently. I've had a few clumpy bottles. So I was on the phone today with my co-packer, saying, hey, that's not the standard, and that's what you got to do as an owner. You have to stay on top of the people producing your stuff, because their goal is to get it in and out of production so they can get someone else's on there and make more money. But I want it to be correct. So I fired my first co-packer at the start of the year and switched to the new guys, and everything's been great. The sauce has been great with the new labels. So anytime you see the new labels, that's our new co-packer. I waited till we moved to them to put the new labels on it. So, but yeah, ham grenade's great. It tied for second, best rub on the planet, lost to Brian Crawford's San Antonio seasonal or SA.
Yeah, the SA San Antonio seasonal.
Man, and that is a great rub, by the way, guys. If you haven't tried that, go get it, man. It's the most balanced all-purpose seasoning I've ever had. I love Brian Crawford's seasonal, so I was happy to lose to him. So
he's got a wing sauce, a new product that we're going to be giving away. Let me.
Nice.
He's
got
to
advertise another person's sauce while I'm on.
Yeah.
Hey, you just mentioned it. You just mentioned Brian Crawford.
Nuts. Yeah, I mentioned it, not the host.
Thank you.
We are having an hour-long promo, apparently a promo for sauces and rubs from Fubar and Warpig Barbecue. But I do want your opinions on some of the new sanctioning bodies or the new, what's coming up around for. Yeah, I want your opinions. We want unfiltered butter, like Case mentioned. But before we get to that, anything else you want to add? Is there anything? Case mentioned something. Is there anything new? I know you got some bourbon stuff coming out. You gave me a secret bottle. You gave me already secret bottle.
Yeah, the test batch number 1.
I felt like 2017 all over again right there with that secret bottle.
Man, it's good. It's so freaking good. So we're working I'm working a joint venture with America Bourbon. They're a Texas veteran-owned bourbon company. And he reached out to me. He's like, man, I make bourbon, and I've heard I need to make a barbecue sauce. So can you make it for me? And I said, well, yeah, I'll private label it for you. And he goes, no, I want it to be Warpig, but put my bourbon in it. So anyways, we've become friends, and he's a great guy. He's actually opening a distillery in Galveston soon. So it's really exciting to see him grow. I don't know when it's going to come out. I mean, I'm letting him get his distillery going and all that. I'm not pushing him. So I just want to make sure I get it ready before the next HEB round comes around where we have to submit products to him. But it's a great sauce.
What do you recommend that goes on?
That'll be my new rib sauce. So there's no doubt. So it's great on pork, man. It's stupid good. That's what I've been running on, little known fact in Waco.
What?
Pork ribs, we ran that. So
how'd you do in Waco? How'd you do in Waco?
Yeah, I mean, I did all right. It's like 4th ribs, I think,
Oh, nice.
We ran it in Humble on the pork and got, I think we were 6th place overall in Humble this week.
Yeah, you had a great run in Humble. I was there whenever you hit that 4th place ribs in Waco. That was awesome.
I know. I saw your 1st place. Appreciate it.
I wasn't bringing that up. You want to see my buckle? I got a buckle back here somewhere.
Yeah, I got a few of them. But, real quick, a couple other highlights. So 50 cal is I'm in the works now to get 50 cal in its first major grocery store. So it will not be HEB, I'll tell you that. And it's going to be on the northeast coast.
Oh, nice.
So 100 potential of 100 locations. This grocery chain is looking at bringing 50 cal snafu and flamethrower in. So really exciting. I know Chris Main is watching, so it's a little closer to him. He's always bugged me about shipping costs. Like I have any control over USPS and FedEx. I mean, so that's a bit of exciting news. I don't want to share any more because the deal's not done, but it's pretty exciting. My goal for this year was to get nationwide, and so I hired I got that going, and I hired a broker for what we call the Rocky Mountain region, which is outside salesperson. So they're going to push my products in a bunch of stores. So looking forward to growing. The white sauce will be coming around the corner. I put the white sauce on hold for the bourbon sauce. I thought the bourbon sauce has a better marketability, whereas the white sauce is kind of a novelty. It's a freaking phenomenal sauce. I love it. I eat it every week. I mean, we eat wings once a week.
I mean, you can't bring that out. It's 2021 right now, bro.
Yeah, what did I say? 2020. Oh, the white sauce.
I love that he's not correcting people. I have to understand, how big is the marketing budget to afford the billboard on I-10? I can tell you, my hometown of Columbus, I-10 is under construction between Columbus and Houston, which means on Sundays it may take you an hour to travel 20 minutes normally.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck in traffic before the Brazos River, and I just glance up at the digital billboard, and there it is, baby. A Foo Bar, the official sauce of 2020 or whatever it was. And I was in the truck, and I just started laughing.
Yeah, that was I just wanted to have some fun with 2020 because it was such a shitty year. So I thought people stuck in traffic, especially in I-10 and on 45 South in Lamarck is where the other one was. I thought, man, if they're stuck in traffic, what better than Foo Bar to make them laugh? So
it worked.
Yeah, we didn't get to spend any marketing dollars, with HEB doing demos or anything. So I wanted to spend some money. The digital billboard was the cheapest way to go, the most cost effective. Yes, Alabama white sauce. We did that. It was fun. And the cool thing about a digital billboard is you can change the design up to 5 or 6 times a year. So for Veterans Day, we did a different design. Like if HEB was running a coupon, we'd put that up there so people could see it, and then you could take it off. It was cool though, but I have to be a little honest. I mean, it's more about ego. So it is an ego boost for me to see my name up on the big board. So
to make me sit while I sit in traffic and stare at your billboard. Yeah. It worked.
There's no return on investment on it, right? Like it's not like people were flooding to our website buying sauce because they saw the billboard. It was just a true businessman would have spent that money on Facebook ads, but I was so damn fed up with 2020, man. I just wanted to do something fun. So
I saw it, and I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, and that's what I was going for, really. So real quick, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to mention? There it is. So this year, I was asked to join the board of directors for the Folds of Honor Foundation, the South Texas chapter. So I'm sorry, it's crooked. There we go. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just wanted to announce that because, they're such a great organization, and for them to honor me with a board seat, it's my first ever board I've got to sit on, and I'm on there with, some pretty prestigious people. And so it's great. I'm looking forward to working with the team and seeing what we can do to help, honor these veterans, legacy by educating their future, their kids.
That's
Very
amazing,
cool.
man. Congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
That's badass.
Shell wants to give a shout out to you. You're donating to the barbecue basket for a benefit she's got coming up. That's awesome.
Yeah, Shell,
That's
just
awesome.
stay on me about that because I tend to forget sometimes. So don't let me forget. Just
Everybody's saying awesome. Congratulations. Best cause in the world. That's who was presenting when I was in the rodeo. I think it was 2 years ago. Folds of Honor.
Yeah. So John and Diane Nemechek run the chapter up here, and John is an Air Force colonel, and I believe he's in the Space Force now, which is really cool. So great people. I mean, their kids are phenomenal. They're all recipients of scholarships, and their youngest boy, I believe, just got into A&M. The other one is in the Air Force Academy. So they're all, and then the daughter is a freaking doctor. So, I mean, they got a great set of kids.
Check out who's watching, Butter.
Hey, Eli.
Nice.
What's
Eli's
up, bro?
watching. Eli's watching. Nice.
Awesome.
No, that's awesome.
Can we? So before Rob has to pee like he did last show, the unfiltered extra salty butter. Let's talk sanctioning bodies in Texas because it's what Rob is really here to talk about.
Yeah, I like sanctioning bodies, man. You know me. So
Let's
go ahead. I'll let y'all start. And I'll
Well,
just
Question.
Which acronym are you most excited about?
There you go. There's your first question.
What I was most excited about was Texas Barbecue Society, TBS, which is no longer with us, but I was very excited about how they were doing things.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and I was really hoping that the folks down south would join forces with them and use their scoring system. So, it didn't happen, and I love the Doug guys, the Dirty Underwear Gang. I mean, they didn't get in this to start a sanctioning group. They were hoping maybe IBCA would pick up the scoring system. So, so those guys are gone. I will forever, until proven otherwise, KCBS will be my favorite because I just love to cook. I love their style of cooking. I love their style of scoring. An IBCA, Lone Star, and Central Texas following, dead ass last. But
In that order?
IBCA's got a new scoring system coming out, I believe in July is when they said it would come out. So I'm curious to see how that works. Now, CBA, a lot of promise with those guys. They've got a lot of big names, obviously Rob, you're with the board. They've got a lot of big names backing them. And so I hope, man, it's so much work with it to start a sanctioning body. So I know it's a lot of work. And I never want to knock anybody for the work they're doing. So I just want to sit back in the shadows and watch and cook all the events I can. So I'm a huge fan of single table judging. So we still don't have one of those in Texas, which is why I'll choose KCBS over any of them. But I still like CBA's scoring system out of all the ones in Texas right now. So,
damn it, we lost Rob on the most important part of the entire show, which is probably fine. So
yeah, we don't need Rob. Well,
and so from the single, what about the single table that just do you not worry about the table of death that we've talked about, or the happy tables? What about single round judging? I get it on the why is that so important to you, and do you think ultimately that the other acronyms will get there?
Well, so single table judging, right? My meat goes in, it sits at a table, it's judged, and it's judged, based on what they like. It's scored. I may win the table, I may not win the table, but I may win first place overall based on all the other ribs at all the other different tables. But it doesn't have to go any further than that. Everybody gets a piece of meat out of the box. They get to eat it however they want to eat it. I just think, that they have a higher probability of eating warm food, and, having these judges eat cold, unsanitary barbecue is just not right. I've gone around and around with certain board members from IBCA on the definition of unsanitary, but I mean, cold food is not good. It's not good for you. So, in the way I see it, IBCA has been around a long time and they've been fighting this scoring system forever. They've been, they were developing it. Gulf Coast did it too. They were developing it forever. And I was like, what the hell? It's a spreadsheet, guys. We don't need a $40,000 software, just create a spreadsheet and a database and we're good, but so to put some context into it, Houston Rodeo did it in 1 year, right? They flipped the script, went to a whole new scoring system, single table, cumulative based scoring system in 1 year. Nobody batted an eye, nobody complained. And it's been working for them ever since. So I don't know why. The only thing that's keeping IBCA from doing it is ego. So it's the board members, certain board members are old school. They've been around forever. They don't want to change. Why change when they've been winning all this time with this scoring system, right? Like, I mean, you're taking away what they think is their golden goose, right? They win with this scoring system. So I'm not consistently great at all three categories, but you can bet your ass I'm consistently good in all four categories. So I have a higher probability of being in the top 10 overall by not having to place in the top 10 of each meat category. So I may be out there with a 4th place and a 14th and a 25th and a 15th, and you get first place ribs, but you bomb the other categories. So I don't think ever a first place brisket should win a grand championship at a cook-off. And that's piss people off if you want. If you're sitting with a first place brisket trophy and a GC trophy, more power to you. You went by the rules. That's fine. But I don't think that should ever happen, because you can't tell me the person at the same cook-off that got 3 walks but got like 3 8th places or a 7th, 8th, and a 9th had a worse day cooking than that first person with the first brisket, right? Like, that person with those 3 walks should be the GC, because they were consistent in all their meats, where this person just was consistent in brisket and won because the points were so spread out. So too many times I've seen it done like that. I don't like it. Craig Sherry used to always tell me, vote with your feet, go to a different cook-off. Okay, so I did. I started going to KCBS. That's what I do. So I think it's the most fair judging system there is, to have a cumulative-based system like that. And now you don't need 2 rounds. So I'm totally against CBA in the second round. I will forever be against it. You'll never convince me that if I win first place ribs in the first round, why the hell do I need to go against everybody else a second time to prove I'm first place? I just beat those jackasses in the first round. So
well, you beat 5 other people on the same table.
I beat the entire damn group, because
now you got to go against the other.
Okay, so now we go to the second round, and the guy with 10th place ribs in the first round wins first place in the finals. He ain't first place ribs. Like, what's the point of having the finals if that person that wins the finals isn't the first place winner? So he gets 5 points. Whoa, big whoop-de-doo. He got a couple extra points for winning the second round. But why do I need to be judged twice? Right now, the second round, those judges are getting ribs that's been picked through already, which means that every judge doesn't get their own piece of meat. They've got to cut it with a plastic knife and fork. For Christ's sake, can we have a freaking sanctioning group that does away with the plastic knife and fork? What I don't understand. I mean, Texas will never get out of this crutch. It's stupid. I don't agree with it, and that's why I never get asked to be on these boards, because nobody asks for my opinion. But it is what it is, man. I mean, I've been doing it for 11 years now, and I've seen the good and bad. I've seen sanctioning groups fold up like cheap suits, But I don't agree with the knife and fork. You shouldn't have to eat barbecue like that. You shouldn't have to judge barbecue like that. It's not sanitary, first of all, because everybody's hovering around this damn box, sniffing it, doing all this stuff, and it's just grab the meat and go. Pass the damn box around. So that's my opinion. Unfiltered, that's
salty,
right,
but this is what we wanted, goddammit. This is what we're here for.
And that's why I ask questions, because I ask questions that everybody else wants to know, but no one's ballsy enough to ask them. And it's just simple questions. I'm not being personal. I'm not sending personal attacks out there. I'm just asking questions that people want to know. And I always want to know if people thought of this when they were writing rules or whatever? Like, did you think about this? Okay, what happens if this happens? So,
well, I mean, you got to let it see it play out. I think we're, I say we, CBA, we're having our final test run. It's going to be a sanctioned event actually this weekend. So we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of aspects that you will like about what's coming. There's going to be some you probably don't. Obviously, second round judging is a no on your eyes. But the fact of the matter is that it's going to give cooks another option here in Texas. You don't have to travel so far. KCBS has come into Texas, but they really don't have. What do they have? Probably 5 total.
Yeah, I mean, their sanctioning fees are the highest of anybody, so it's difficult with KCBS because of what they charge.
Obviously, you don't have a problem cooking pork. That's going to be a major difference in what CBA has versus what's in Texas at the moment.
Yeah, no, I love pork, and I don't know. There's some things like I want to be able to turn in the quantity that I want to turn in, right? I never want to turn in an odd quantity, which is why I hate Lone Stars. Turn in 7 ribs, turn in 9 ribs. They just don't look right. Like I like 8, but I like an even number. So, and I like to place them in a box however the hell I want to place them. I shouldn't be told how I have to place them. So that's another rub I have with people. So if I'm getting presentation scores, I want to put them in there however I want. If I want to put burn ends, I should be able to put burn ends in the box.
Do you really want to put burn ends?
Yeah, man. Burn ends are great, man. Ask Jose here. He tried them once. They're like cotton candy.
Are you gonna checkerboard them? I saw the. Are you a checkerboard kind of burn end kind of guy?
Yeah, me and Bridgman tried it at Bedford once, and it didn't really work out. But no, I love burn ends if they're done properly. Now you have to be man enough or woman enough to be truthful with yourself when you bite into your burn end. If it ain't good, don't put it in the box. And people are always like, "Man, I've been cooking these burn ends all day. I got to put them in the box." No, you don't. Ask Roddy. They won. They got a 180 brisket at the World Foods. No burn ends, right? So you don't have to do it. Oh man, sorry. Freaking battery.
Oh no.
Oh, we're gonna lose butter.
No way. Oh, there it is. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I mean, burn ends, I love them, but yeah, you don't have to. There we are. You don't have to put them in, but if I want to put them in, I want to put them in. So we turn them into Houston, even though they tell us you can't, but everybody does. So it just. By the way, if
anybody actually watches other barbecue podcasts on Facebook, I do need to remind y'all that we are in hour number 2, and so that's just what I see on other shows that get like 5 viewers. Anyway, back to Rob.
Am I getting paid for hour number 2? Because I don't
possibly.
Hold up, real quick. Shout out to hour number 2.
Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech Grills, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Rick's RV Rental and Repair, Holy Smoke Spice Company, Diamond Shine Cleaning Products, J. Harding and Company, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, and The Barbecue Store. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
All right.
Damn it. How many rubs and spices companies can we mention in the middle of your interview?
Man, that's like Phil Breeden's old trailer, man. It's like damn NASCAR. So many damn sponsors on it.
So there it was. We were entering hour number 2. Play Phil's video. No, we'll get to Phil's video in a minute. Ira Green killed it though last week, and Joey Smith had another one. Speaking of, Dennis, we need an intro video with Warpig barbecue filters and all, bro. Make it a TikTok intro.
No, I'll do something great. I've just been holding out. So we have a cook-off coming up in February at the end on my birthday. So I'll do it then, and I'll get it to you. So
absolutely. All right. So we heard your opinions, and I'm excited. I like the fact that you are so passionate about barbecue.
That's right.
You are. You're passionate about barbecue. You're passionate about what you're seeing here in Texas, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised once you see what the CBA is all about. I know the IBCA, they're actually going to have a test run of their new scoring system. Let me get me on the screen. They're going to have a test run of their new scoring system next week. So there's some good things happening in Texas barbecue. A lot of changes.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. Did you miss his take on knife and fork and second round judging? I'm just asking. Just what.
Well, it's
It was a hot take, bro. It was a hot take.
It was good, man. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where we are.
I am doing the CBA event coming up in February, so that'll be my next cook-off. So I'm looking forward to that. So
Tom Ball VFW.
That's right, man. I got invited. Felt special when I got the invite.
Hey, look at that. You got an invite here. By the way, Case and I pushed for you to be invited to that Tom Ball thing. So
quite nice guys.
Yes. No, that's not true. That's not true. I think Candy's watching. She has her people. She has her people that she likes to invite. And you're one of them, obviously. But Butter, so what else do we need to talk about? We are in hour number 2.
And he may run sponsors ad in mid comment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all good. So I got my good buddy out in Paris told me one time, there's plenty of room on the shelf for all of us. So I don't mind. Advertise who you want. I love helping people. So I've helped 2 different people today that are brand new in the game trying to create products, and they reach out to me asking me for my opinions because they know I'll shoot them straight. So I love to help. If I can help, if you're out there and you need help with where to get labels or where to get bottles or how to get a nutritional statement, a lot of things, there's no guide for that. Right. So I learned the hard way. I did a lot of Googling and searching, and I'm glad to share it with anybody that needs it. So
I will tell you one thing. I was talking to Rob, and last week we were talking some different stuff on the show, and there was a guy in Norman, Oklahoma that I recognize from some Facebook groups that I'm in. And I was bringing up, and he's a rookie in KCBS, and man, he's been practicing all the salads. And we joked about it on the show, and little did I know he was watching the show. And so after the show, he hit me up in Facebook Messenger. We were kind of going back and forth. But it was unique because he actually sent me some sauce, and it showed up at the house in a mason jar, and it just reminded me of when Food Bar used to show up in the middle of the night at a cook-off. But from where you started, humble beginnings, and that's a great comment where you're willing to help anybody. But
I got that same bottle today, Case.
When you look back and see from putting it in mason jars, cooking it at the house, kitchens in the middle of the night, just where do you see, could you ever imagine that you would be in this situation? And then for anybody, Greg and Compete Barbecue, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I know you're in the comments tonight, but we're excited. He sent me some smoked cheese, all that kind of stuff. But nice. It was something about this mason jar, man. I ain't gonna lie, that when it just reminded, I was like, this is a perfect time to have Dennis on, because it just reminded me of the humble beginnings to where you are right now. You're still an extremely approachable guy. Got lots of opinions, which I like, but. For somebody that's maybe kind of get their teeth into it, is there anything that you can tell them to keep striving, and maybe one day you get to where you are today?
Yeah, it's, it all starts with an idea and a flavor profile, and don't be afraid to find a product that you like that's out there that you want to perfect in your own way, right? I mean, ideas are free. So I was telling a guy today, there's only so many combinations out there in the world, of spices and ingredients. It's like music, there's only so many chords, so you can play the same chord in 40 different songs, and it's just one big mesh. So create the flavor that you want and the consistency that you want, buy your ingredients, go to Sam's, go to, your grocery store, get what you need and try it out and give it to family and friends and see if they like it. I got a mason jar today as well, Case, from somebody up north in Dallas, in Denton, that I've been helping. He wanted my honest opinion, and I gave it to him tonight. Great sauce, just needs a little work. So, but yeah, pay attention to your ingredients, pay attention to your cost. What your margins are, where you do your market research on what sauces like yours cost, retail, and don't ever try to be the most expensive sauce on the shelf. That's even when I told HEB I wanted to be $4.98, that was because Jank was at $4.99. So it was the whole reason. I don't want to be that guy on the top of the shelf with the most expensive bottle. So other than that, man, it's don't buy your bottles on Amazon because you're getting killed on price, so don't be afraid to use mason jars. There's nothing wrong with mason jars. We all use mason jars, and you can get them pretty cheap. And just keep making it, man. So yes, new brisket rub is also in the works also, Chris. So that's ready to go. I mean, I've been using that brisket rub for almost a year now, so it's time to release it to the world. So I'll have a chicken rub right behind that as well. Should round out my rubs for a while. Like everybody else, I might as well do an SPG rub, right? Everybody's got a salt, pepper, garlic rub. I don't know how different you can make them these days, but I'll try to be a little different. But yeah, man, and anybody out there that's trying to come up with something, feel free to hit me up, man. My instant messages are always on. I may not respond right away. People know me because I don't always respond right away, but I always know in the back of my head I have to, respond to you. So I will.
That's a good comment, Matt.
Yeah. And make sure if you're going to go to retail, even if it's the small retailers, make sure you have a nutritional statement on your bottle, right? Make sure you have calories and make sure it's following the guidelines. It's all out there for you. But that covers your ass if somebody gets sick on one of your ingredients that you're not listing. You can really be in a lot of hurt. And a lot of these small retailers can also be held liable for it. And they're selling products without proper labels. And it leaves your store, you're liable for it too. I mean, you can try to push it back onto the manufacturer, but they can still come after you if you're bigger than the manufacturer is. So that's what always worries me with all the food allergies these days is list everything. I mean, hell, you look at ours, anytime you have Worcestershire sauce, you have anchovies, that's a ingredient in Worcestershire sauce. So our labels always say contains anchovies. I get a ton of questions about anchovies all the time.
Secret ingredient.
Yeah, it's freaking just an ingredient in Worcestershire, but fish is an allergen, so you have to list it.
Certainly.
So protect yourself. Don't be afraid to get insurance. Insurance is cheap. Lawsuits aren't, do those kind of things. Do it right the first time. Cry once, with the payment. So.
Absolutely. So last thing, your trailer. We need a trailer tour. Send us a little video.
I did a little tour on TikTok. I mean, if you go to my TikTok, I did a trailer tour. I'll do another one. Daryl Tracy's wrapping the other side next week.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully. I mean, Daryl, he tends to put mine off to last all the time. I don't know why, but
it's kind of a big trailer, so give him
he doesn't
time.
like me. Yeah, it stretches throughout his whole thing, so it takes up a lot of space. But I've been waiting for Daryl to do this because I'm really happy with it. I love my wrap, but and that's the soldier tribute all the way across. The other side is all about the brand, so we've got all the new branding on there. So nothing new with that, other than I might add some more speakers to it. I heard it needs to be louder. So
we do know a guy that does rap. So if you get in a bind, just let us know. We know a guy.
Right. I know, and he's a great dude, man. I love Cheeto. So great guy.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, Butter, anything else you want to say to the folks out there? Your fans. You got a lot of people out here. You've been pulling a full hour basically, and some change, and it's been entertaining. And shout out to you for coming on, being our third ever guest on the So Smoking Gooder Show. I'm going to post that original video when we're done here, because not only did we all look different, but it just the whole scene and the whole setup and everything, and actually having people in the crowd was kind of fun. We'll have to do that again. When we do a remote, we'll have to get some local guys, and hopefully you'll come back on there and do a remote with us. That was fun.
I mean, it'd probably be another 3 years. That's how long it took you to invite me back this time. But, it's all good, man. I mean, I was made for this. So, if you ever need a break, man, just holler. I'll take over for you. But,
he's talking to you, Case.
Me and Case.
He's talking to me. Yeah, no, I don't have any logins or access to the Facebook pages. I'm just a guest every week too. I mean,
But yeah,
you're my favorite guest.
Case, you're my favorite guest. Let me give a shout out to my mama, the original Mrs. Butterworth. She's not changing her label on her bottle. It's Mrs. Butterworth. So appreciate you, mama. I love you. I hope you're watching. Shout out to all my pigs. My team rolls hard, man.
They're watching.
I know they party hard and they do dishes hard, man. I love it.
Oh, I did. Sorry, before we let you go, your show. What was the name of that show, and when did that air? And can you still find it
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime Video. You can buy it because I know
Is it really?
I bought it a while back to watch it.
So for those people that do not know, Dennis was on the show.
Yeah,
Highlighted trailers and rigs, and they highlighted the Warpig, the one with the remote that you see at his cook-off all the time, and it was him and Louis Liendo and Justin Margis, Dr. Smoke.
The Grill of Victory. So they gave us $10,000 to pimp out our pits.
Listen. No spoiler alert, but
no spoilers, but mine is the only one still going in the circuit right now. So I went to Extensive Metalworks, which you guys should know from Texas Metal, the show on the Speed Channel, or Velocity. The guys are geniuses with metalwork, and they built my tank for me, and it's a badass pit. So that show's really cool. We got our ass beat. You know, it was.
No spoiler alerts.
Well, I think everybody got their ass beat, but it's just.
I think it was Hef that had a little say in that.
I think the producers paid Hef to sabotage the whole event. To be honest with you, me and Brian. I mean, every time we turn around, he was screwing something up. So it was rough, man. First of all, it was 30 degrees and raining. We're trying to have a party, and we got like 2 hours sleep, and over the last 3 nights and. But it was a lot of fun. It was our first TV experience. I obviously had my own TV show in college called From the Hook to the Cook, so I had a little more experience. But it was fun.
That.
Yeah, man. KSHU.
If you
any other TV experience?
If you went to Sam Houston, you might know this. This may be a topic.
If you're in a state pen, if you're in the penitentiary, you watched it. Yeah, we got a lot of fan from them.
Which is a rather large audience in Huntsville. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was the 90.5 The Cat. That was me. I was the guy on the radio all the time. So,
any other shows you're working on, or anything in the works you approached at all?
It's funny, man. You get emails all the time about that stuff. And I try to apply for some. So I did apply for what they call Top Chef Amateurs because I am in love with Top Chef. I love Top Chef because it's a show that I never could get on because it's for true chefs. Like, they're badasses. Brooke is my favorite Top Chef contestant of all time. They're just all great. So when they came out with Amateurs, I applied for it. That was during COVID. I never heard back. So they probably were like, nah, this guy's got a face for radio. We don't want him on TV. So we'll keep him off.
Wait. Have we seen the new profile pic?
Oh, I know, huh?
Yeah. Don't. Sorry, Case. I don't have it up.
Hang on.
That is the diamond shine comment of the night right there.
Oh my God. Yeah, no more TV shows unless they want me. We haven't really applied for much. The team was really worn out after the first one. So it's fun though. I mean,
that was 5 years ago. So I think
I would do it again. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So I would definitely do it again if I got invited to be on a show. But right now I don't have any in the works.
All right. Well,
man, we appreciate you coming on, answering questions, unfiltered. That's what we wanted. That's Rob and I want it. You kind of, I don't know.
No more knife and fork. No more knife and fork.
He delivered.
I'll leave you with that. And I don't know if you saw, I have custom Warpig barbecue suits now.
Are you just dropping bikes tonight? Are you dropping bikes on us? Yeah. Just one after another.
That's a guy in Houston, Blue BLU, Fine Menswear. He's a local guy. He's a veteran. Also makes custom suits. It's phenomenal. You can find him on Instagram. Houston Suit Guy is his name.
Are you cooking this weekend?
No, man. It's too damn cold. You guys are nuts for going out there and cooking in this mess. I know Josh is going out there with Pop to spring, and then I'm going to drop the generator off, and then I may or may not be doing a review at the local barbecue joint right there, Corkscrew. So
I hear that's a good one. So be gentle.
That is a good one. I think
they're in my top 5, right? I don't really need to
give your top 5. Did you give your top 5? I don't think you did.
Yeah, so top 5, right? Starting out number 5, and this was last year.
Houston area, by the way.
Tejas Chocolate Craftery and Tomball was 5. 4 was Killins. 3 was Corkscrew. 2 was Truth, and number 1 is Pinkertons. And I believe in all my heart, Pinkertons is number 1 in Texas. Their barbecue is phenomenal. I will go try Ernest after he's been open for a few months. I like people to.
My new store is right over there, so pick me up, or I'll reach you over there. We're close by, or we'll go to Pit Room. I like Pit Room, so.
Pit Room's all right, yeah. So, but yeah, that other place was called Harlem Road. I know I never said who it was, but they're on TikTok. So.
Have you been to Gatlin's?
We used to get it catered a lot when I worked downtown. It's good. I mean, they're not my top 5, and that's what I had to argue with people all the time. I was like, yeah, they're great. You know, it's just not top 5 quality.
I mean, top 5's tough. Top 5's tough.
And you can get bumped out pretty quick. But I mean, Rogel's, by the way, phenomenal barbecue, great brisket. You know, great brisket over there. So they're definitely a top 10. I'd like to try Fijis. I haven't tried them yet, but I've heard great things out of them. And it's just all in fun, right? I mean, I pay my own money like anybody else, and I just get out my little cell phone and my light and film it. So,
dude, I will film. Let's do this. So,
yeah.
But yeah, Blood Brothers, Pit Room, Ernest's new spot. You know, let's go. Come on.
Now, I know I really want to eat Ernest's spot, so I've got to get over there. I want to hold true to myself and make him wait a couple of months because that's what I always tell people. But man, his food looks so damn good.
Well, you need to do a TikTok about this show and make us your top one.
Yeah,
barbecue. What is fake internet barbecue show?
Yeah, the podcast
in the nation and podcast.
I'm down.
And podcast. Hey, Butter, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on the show again. It'll be 63 more episodes. No, we won't make it that long. But thank you so much for coming on the show, Butter. We appreciate it. You've been a big supporter of this show and us as Bullhorn. We were your number 1 pro team when you started. So congratulations on all the success and continued success. Thank you for everything you're doing for everybody out there with the donations and all of it, man. We appreciate you, and thanks for coming back on the show again.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, there he was, Dennis Butterworth,
Unfiltered
Warpig barbecue.
That's what we wanted.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the things, and we're not lying. Dennis and I we can argue regularly on social media, and so when we were kind of strolling through, we've been at this. I don't think we've ever done this many weeks in a row, but there's been a lot of good stuff to talk about in barbecue. And Rob and I had the conversation, and we bounced some different people around. And some people weren't available for the show. Some people we just chose not to call, like Roddy and Kevin Caldwell. No, I'm just saying that because you're in the comments. But I said, Ben, we haven't talked to Dennis in like forever. And you're like, sure. You and Dennis, like, dude, just because we argue on social media doesn't mean we don't get along. I was like, I just saw him and hit him, and at no time did he punch me, so we should be good to go tonight. So, we're glad Dennis came on. He's a wealth of knowledge, cooks a lot of sanctioning bodies. He's got a product line, and he's never short on opinions. And he's got a great story behind his product and how it got there, what it does. And so, if you haven't tried it, if you're watching the show tonight and you haven't tried it, or you haven't tried it recently, get you some Warpig. Stop by a local HEB, hit up the barbecue store, find it. It's on the shelf. I ain't lying. Ham grenade's one of the easiest pouring products that you'll ever find in the rib category, and the sauces are really, really good. And so, great guy, great brand, great reasoning behind the product. And I can't believe it. Really has been 60-something shows since Rob didn't have him on.
No, he's been on. He's been on here and there. He's actually been on a few. He was on that Texas Pit Masters virtual showdown. But to actually have a show dedicated to Dennis was awesome, and it's been a long time coming. We appreciate Dennis. We've known Dennis. I feel like we've seen this whole thing grow from when he started. Obviously, we have with the mason jars and the, hey, how do you like this? And is this what you're liking? And giving some feedback to him, and from what he's created from that is outstanding. It's amazing.
Years ago when you and I first started this, and some people that do know the story between the two of us, we met tailgating, and when it came, our friendship was all about tailgating and Texans games, and man, I do competition barbecue, and I was like, man, and so I started just traveling with the travel trailer, the pop-up camper. It wasn't even the nice travel trailer that I have today. It was the damn pop-up, and so we drove. And I remember, I'll never forget, we went to Turn and Burn in Pleasanton. We had the Bullhorn trailer and the pop-up camper, and we had Morabita blueberry beer or whatever the purple haze beer is. I think it's all we had, and we had a shit ton of it. And then I'll never forget, Dennis was by us, and that's when I think I really first met him. This has been years ago. And I think he felt bad because I was just a chubby kid who slept till like noon and had nothing to do with the barbecue. And so I kind of would stroll up to his cutting table like a little puppy dog and he was in the middle of slicing his turn-in brisket, and he about took my finger off. He said, "If you touch my cutting board, I'll cut your finger off." And so he got his 9 slices, and he's like, "Here, boy, you can have some brisket. Now run along and go eat everyone else's brisket." So known Dennis for a long time, and just a great guy in barbecue and a great ambassador for the sport.
Absolutely. We're talking about the sport. Thank you, Dennis, for coming back on, man. That was awesome. We'll get him on again. But talking about sport, he mentioned guys are crazy for cooking this weekend. There are two big cook-offs, I guess. One in spring for IBCA. I talked to Maria Henry. She's the head judge for the event. She said, hey, if you guys are still wanting to come on, you guys can come on. I know the weather's going to be a little difficult with the cold and whatnot, and hopefully everybody travels safely. But if you still want to get in spring, you are able to. And the CBA is doing their final test run / official event this weekend. We feel that it's going to go off without a hitch. So if you guys want to get in on that, you're able to. You can contact Roddy Trevino for the CBA. That's going to be down in Kingsville. I know that there's another one down in Refugio.
You got like 50 plus teams in Refugio. And so some good hats off to all you guys that are cooking this weekend. I had some plans this weekend. I was excited. It's Daytona weekend. And as the weather got is what it is, man. I looked in Kingsville. I think the feel-like temperature was 17 degrees or something a couple of days ago. I think it may be colder. And so hats off to all the guys. It's a grind to get out there and compete and keep those pits hot and do your thing this weekend. So can't wait to see how the results shake out next week. But good luck to everybody on any acronym you're cooking. And be careful on the roads. I saw a couple of people mention it. It's been busy day to day, and I kind of missed some of the reports. Very unfortunate situation. Some of our roads, let's be honest, a lot of us are watching the show are from Texas, and driving in ice isn't our thing. So err on the side of safety. There'll be other cook-offs as long as you're around. So take care of yourselves and be safe on those roads. And if it's not right, don't do it.
All right, last thing. I'm going to play a couple of the intros that we would like you guys to do. We want some participation on the So Smoking Gooder Show. We love you guys out there. We hope you guys are watching this show and love it. Obviously, we're an hour and a half in. We still got people watching, so that's awesome. But we want some participation. So Case will explain how to do that in just a minute. But I'm gonna play a couple of them right now. And this one, everybody's requested this one. We're gonna do this one first.
Hey everybody, Phil Breeden, owner and founder of LC Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
I'm Ira Green from Kingsbury, Texas with Flying G Barbecue. You're watching live on the Smoking Gooder Show. So Smoking Gooder Show. I fucked that all up. Ira Green with Flying G Barbecue from Kingsbury, Texas, watching live. Ira Green with Flying G Barbecue from Kingsbury, Texas, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Hello, I'm Joey Smith with Texas Chrome Barbecue. Here watching the So Smoking Gooder Show. Did I say that right?
Yeah, man. Send us our videos. Rob at bullhornbbq.com. Send it to Rob. He's the one that does all this production and editing. I just show up and click on a link every week. And so we love to hear from you wherever you are in the country. You don't have to be from Texas, okay? So if you tell us where you're coming from, even Greg, even you in Norman, Oklahoma, we'll take it. And so And Wally, if you want to send us from Iowa, I don't know if they have internet access in Iowa, but if you do, but we'd love to hear from you guys. And it's a blast keeping up with the comments throughout the page. And it's not just about Texas barbecue; it's about barbecue. And we want to talk to everybody and reach out. And we've got people all over the great country and California. And so we appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, however you find us.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks very much for sticking with us for an hour and a half in. We've got some nice guests lined up. We're going to have Joey Smith, who y'all just saw. He's going to be on next week talking about his Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, which is an awesome cause. I can't wait to share that with you guys. We're also going to reach out to Lee Hickle. He is making this East Coast tour. He's expanding. He's spreading his wings. He's going to do an East Coast tour of a KCBS tour out there. So we're going to track his progress and see how he does. We've also reached out to Darian Cosmo with Cosmo's Q products to get him on the show. So lots coming up for the So Smoking Gooder Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. And I think that's going to wrap it up. Case, close us out, brother.
I don't know who needs to hear it if you're still watching, but Valentine's Day is coming up this weekend. So I'm just giving you the warning. So go by Kroger before it gets too cold. Buy the cheap roses. You've been warned, fellas. Valentine's Day is this weekend. And so take that. We're going to keep you from getting in trouble so you can keep cooking. Be safe on the roads if you're out cooking. Have fun. Gotta love barbecue. Good night, Barbecue Nation. You too, California.
All right, there it was. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 63, So Smoking Gooder Show. We're out. Late.